Welcome to EP Daily. Today on the show, we hit the field with FIFA 16 in the rundown.
Plus, we go behind the scenes with Vince and his entourage.
And like I told you 15 years ago, the next level is coming.
And then Jose and Van are in the house with a review of The Witcher 3. Also coming up, we have a classic review of our return to Gotham for another new look at Batman Arkham Knight and much more today on EP Daily. Brought to you by EB Games. I'm your host, Victor Lucas, bringing you the latest and everything cool every single day. I don't want the referee to give me a yellow card, so I better hurry and get started with the rundown. Half of the human race won't be excluded from the world's most popular sports video game. EA has announced that FIFA 16 will include 12 all-female teams, making it the first game in the Pro Soccer series to feature women. The 12 teams come from countries all over the world, including Canada and the United States, and the developers are using performance capture technology to make sure the players look and move just like their real-life counterparts. Soccer fans have been demanding that women's teams be added to the FIFA games for years, with several big online petitions and other social media campaigns. FIFA 16 will hit the field this September. EA also has the rights to several other big sport franchises, but it remains to be seen if female teams will be included in those as well.
Oh, fantastic goal!
Another subscription-based MMO is going free-to-play. Wildstar, the sci-fi MMO from former members of the World of Warcraft development team, will transition to a free-to-play model this fall. Like other MMOs, you'll be able to download and play the entire thing for free, with revenue generated through the sale of optional in-game content. There will still be a paid signature subscription service for extra content for those who want it, and existing subscriber accounts will be transitioned to that automatically. Wildstar making the jump to free-to-play shouldn't come as a surprise. Most MMOs have already dropped their mandatory subscriptions to help boost their number of players, and the sale of in-game content generates much more revenue in the long run. The rundown's a fun one today, made more fun by the appearance of my pal, Scott C. Jones.
I'm a fun one, too.
Yes.
The rundown's fun, and I'm fun.
Two
All
fun
right,
things.
let's
Now,
talk about it.
Wildstar is a free-to-play MMO. Big surprise?
Yeah.
Not really.
I feel like I'm more open to free-to-play than I was maybe 6 months or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
It seems like it's just a way of life now. It's like oxygen. We're all used to breathing it, and there's going to be more of it to breathe in the future, for sure.
Well, when you think about MMOs, too, it's almost like they are an ongoing television model, you know? It's just like lots and lots of content being streamed to you.
That's right.
And you can kind of, instead of ads that you have to watch or skip through on your PVR, you can purchase things along the way to make yourself look cooler in these games. And I think those are the distinctive kind of pieces when you're playing an MMO, right? It's how much you customize, how much you invest back into the character that you're building.
It's almost like creating a personal identity for yourself, and how much you want to add to that identity, or what things you're going to need on your adventure. Those are all things that are going to cost you money. I know Roberto likes free-to-play because she's cheap. She's
well,
cheap.
I know that Wildstar has had some big fans here at EP.
Yes.
You and I have not reviewed it, so we're not incredibly familiar with it, but it does look fun. It does look like it's been made by good people.
Yep.
So yeah, I think more people are going to be playing it, and that can only be a good thing. More people are going to be playing FIFA this year because women are in the game for the first time, and I think this is a fantastic move for Electronic Arts.
This is a big step forward, and I feel like we're going to see more and more of this kind of thing going forward. We've had a couple of controversial up and down years with all the controversy and stuff surrounding the way women are portrayed in video games.
Yes.
And I mean, there's been a big push for creating women who are more authentically women, and not just things that wear bikinis.
Yeah, bikini armor.
But I think from a creative and a production standpoint, we've gotten good at articulating how the male body works in a video game. And it's something that programmers and developers have to learn for the female body now. And so we're going to get probably women, female characters that act like men in video games, but that look like women.
Yeah, well, FIFA and the development team is doing their best to try to, make something that looks and feels distinct and looks and feels authentic.
It's a bit of a learning curve, but they're there very quickly.
They did a whole bunch of hair physics modeling and everything.
Your hair, I wonder.
Well, mine doesn't move.
It's like a woman's hair.
All right. Well, speaking of misogyny, it's time for our look behind the scenes of Entourage.
My first movie is studio head, and boom, I want you to star in it.
Oh, yeah? How badly?
What do you mean?
Because I decided whatever I do next, I also want to direct.
Does he even know how to direct?
Ari? Ari, Vince has decided that anything he does, acting-wise, he also wants to direct. So Ari gives him an opportunity by allowing Vince to not only star, but also direct in his first film that he's making as the studio head. And so after spending $100 million, Vince and his producing partner, E, go back to Ari and ask if they could have some more money, $10 million to be precise. Relative to $100 million, it's not that much, but it's still $10 million, and Ari can't give it to him because the financiers, the money people, are putting their foot down.
What did I tell you when I gave you $100 million?
What did we tell you?
You agreed to not go over.
We told you it wasn't enough.
But you agreed to not go over.
Because you said I couldn't direct unless we agreed.
E, Vince have promised me that they wouldn't go over budget, and the first thing they do is ask for more money. So it makes Ari crazy, because the reality is, Ari is really sticking his neck out for these guys. It's the first movie that he greenlights with the new regime, and he's betting it all on Vince. And, you know, that's also a kind of I believe, a stroke of genius, because that's what the whole show has been about. And it's kind of a natural progression that we come to that, and an extension of their whole relationship. Just tell me, does it suck?
No, it doesn't suck. Tell him it doesn't suck.
It doesn't suck.
How to get this show on the road?
I'm getting some quality time alone with Emily. What's the running time on these?
It was an addictive show. There's a sort of delicious living vicariously through Vincent Chase and everybody quality to it. And he's kept that flavor, just expanded it into the scale of a movie. The conflict is a little bit more complicated, and there's some more characters that we bring in. There's a hell of a lot of cameos in this one that you couldn't fit in a half an hour.
What kind of studio are you running around here?
He doesn't like drama. Wants to cut him out.
They try to cut out my brother, I kill somebody. Even if you sucked as bad as drama probably sucked.
We've got our main storyline, but then some of these B storylines are so fantastic. And some really great surprises came on, and the celebrities that would show up day to day. You're like, oh my God, he's coming in. Oh, quick, let's do this cameo scene with this one. It was great.
Didn't she get really fat?
I have my real coach here, my real teammates here. This isn't my real gym. I'm not that narcissistic. It's cool to be able to mesh the two careers, because I've always kept them so separate. It's fun to be able to share my fight world with everybody that I'm acting with, and to share the acting with everybody that I train and fight with.
I last 30 seconds, you let me take you out on a date.
Last 60 seconds, and I'll let you.
I'm really happy that we're going to get the opportunity to see it on the big screen, because as a show, I always thought that Entourage was a love letter to Los Angeles. And it was so cinematic, and there's all these Malibu and Hollywood and the hills and the things and these like cinematic vistas that were captured on TV. And I think that on the screen it's going to be amazing.
And like I told you 15 years ago, the next level is coming.
Behind the scenes of Entourage makes the studio smell like Drakkar Noir.
Bingo. Stick around when we come back. Batman Arkham Knight is ready to step into the spotlight.
Vic, your bat reaction is showing.
Welcome back to EP Daily. When it comes to Batman,
I am the one who's wearing hockey pads.
yes, my favorite superhero of all time is starring in a brand new video game. Here I am, very happily talking with the makers of Batman Arkham Knight.
You will bring death to all who follow you.
You've got a 100-hour experience already in this core Arkham Knight game, but you know, you guys have famously come out now and said that there's a lot more coming, and there's a whole season's pass worth of DLC out there. Break down where we're going over the next few months after this game comes out.
Well, there's a lot of content that we wanted to expand upon, stories that we wanted to tell that didn't naturally fit in the timescale and the game that we're creating. But like you say, a lot of that stuff is in the future. So, well, Warner Brothers recently made an announcement about the Batgirl content, which is incredibly exciting, and the Season of Infamy, bringing in new supervillains into Gotham City. There's a load of skins for both Batman and the Batmobile, and all of that content really just expands on the feeling and the tone of Batman Arkham Knight. But Arkham Knight itself was always designed as that epic, conclusive chapter in the trilogy that we've been working on. So really, I think that's what we've been focusing our energy on, is making sure that story is as awesome and as epic as we want it to be.
list this off in terms of mobility that Batman has now. So he has a bit of a racing game mechanic in here in the Batmobile. He's got a little tank type mobility in here. He's got the glide across the city type mechanic and the grappling everywhere. He's got dual play combat, which will allow you to switch on the fly to the other character. Can you progress in the story as the other character after you take on Nightwing, for example? Can you just go right back in and jump in the Batmobile as Nightwing?
It's still a Batman story at the core of it. You know, that's always been our promise, be the Batman. So bringing in these allies to support him is a critical part of that Bat family, but no, fundamentally you are playing as Batman and controlling the Batmobile, which is an extension of Batman as a character as we see.
All of this is broken up in this really cool mission tree structure that you have. You can basically select where you want to go and then chase after any sort of number of objectives out there, right?
Yeah, I mean, the core narrative path takes you through encounters with all of these supervillains, so you get a bit of a taste of all of them. And then if you want to delve in deeper to what's going on with Two-Face or what's going on with Penguin or any of the other characters, then you can take that diversion and get deep into that. But the confrontation with Scarecrow and the Arkham Knight really does sit at the heart of the core of the narrative.
Nice work there, Victor Lucas, and stay tuned to EP for our ongoing coverage of Batman. The game comes out in June, but right now everyone is talking about one game in particular. That game, of course, is The Witcher 3. Now, before we get to our Witcher 3 review, let's take a look back at The Witcher 2. Here's Steve and Raju. Roll tape.
2011 is proving to be another big year for epic-length RPGs. We've already seen Dragon Age 2, Elder Scrolls V Skyrim coming up this fall, and now we are looking at The Witcher 2 Assassins of Kings. This is a PC game. It's obviously the sequel to The Witcher, which was, I think, a little bit overlooked. The backstory here is you are Geralt.
Of Rivia.
Of Rivia, as opposed to Geralt of Toronto.
Right. That dream will not have a happy ending for you.
You're plunged into this. I mean, this is a really great world. I love the world of The Witcher, particularly The Witcher 2, because it's sort of the anti-Fable world. It's not like sprites and happiness and la-la wonderland. It's dark. It's dark. There's poverty. There's unhappiness.
The successor of one of Temeria's oldest families perished at the hands of a monster slayer.
This is a really kind of mature, dark fantasy world that you get to step into with this game.
Yeah, one of the absolute strengths is the story here, which, you know, it's one of these games that has like 16 endings depending on what sort of choices you make. You know, one thing I actually really enjoyed about this game is the combat, which I hear is sort of one of the biggest differences from the first game, which sounds to me more of a strategic sort of stance. Here, I thought it was just wicked fun.
It's very action-oriented, and in fact, a great blend. It's that kind of action-oriented combat with a really deep storyline, lots of character customization, lots of skill trees you can branch out into, lots of ways to improve your sword play, improve your alchemy. You're mixing up potions, you're making grenades, you're making oil to put on your sword. There's just a lot of depth, the kind of depth you'd expect from a big, meaty RPG, but it's just, I don't know, just handled so well.
This is a game, definitely, if you are a fan of this genre, you definitely should check this out, because it's just really sort of impressive in almost every aspect.
Yep. It's an important game, it's a deep game, it's fun, which is important, because you can have an RPG that's really deep and have a lot of stuff in it that's not fun, but The Witcher 2 is a lot of fun.
You doubt my words, dog? Open the gate now!
It kind of just hits all the right notes that we expect in an RPG. So, based on that, what are you going to give The Witcher 2?
For me, this is an 8.5.
This is a 9 out of 10.
Nice to see you guys, and watching you two work always makes me wish I was more interesting and had more intelligent things to say. Damn you, Steve and Raju. And up next, The Witcher 3 puts its tiny little head on the EP chopping block after this.
What's this offer? Got a contract for me?
I do, if you're willing to partner with me.
Usually work alone.
Welcome back to EP Daily. The Witcher 3 is out now, and one thing that I want you to consider while you're watching this review is that Ben Silverman, I believe, sunk 768 hours into finishing the game. Jose somehow managed to finish it in 3. Here they are with their review of The Witcher 3.
Well, Ben and I have decided to just take a week off and just play one game, and that game happens to be The Witcher 3.
I took 2 weeks.
Ben took 2 weeks. This game is a massive game, probably the biggest game of the year. Ben, what did you think?
Well, it's not just the biggest game of the year in terms of its size and scope.
No, it's on one disc.
For me, this is maybe the biggest game of the year in terms of the biggest surprise. Because I gotta tell you, we saw The Witcher 3 a few times. I saw you at one of these preview events.
Yeah, like 2 years ago.
We played for about an hour. It's taken them a long time to get it out. But I mean, you know, I've been kind of checking it out, looking at screenshots and trailers and gotten 1 or 2 looks, and I didn't really get how amazing this game turned out to be. I think part of the thing is I didn't play a lot of the first 2 Witcher games, so I didn't have a really deep connection to Geralt of Rivia, the Witcher, white-haired Witcher. But I got to tell you, once I got playing and once it got its hooks in me, those hooks went deep, my friend. I could not escape from the clutches of The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. It was hunting my time, and it captured it. This is, right now, I'm going to say it right now, this is already my favorite game of 2015. I think this is an amazing achievement.
That is huge praise, because there's a lot of big titles coming.
I'm saying, I know Bloodborne's over there. You're looking at me.
I know.
And Mortal Kombat, and then Ori. I love you all. You're great people. You're great people. But The Witcher 3, this is an incredible achievement.
This game is pretty much side quest saturation is what it is. I got so lost. I got so lost in the side quest for this game. Like, I was like 10 hours in before I realized I'm still on like the 2nd mission of the actual story. And then I would just fall into that wormhole, and then it's like 5 in the morning, and I haven't slept at all or eaten.
What's this offer? Got a contract for me?
I do, if you're willing to partner with me.
There are so many different political allies and enemies and factions warring, and it seems like you're going to get lost trying to follow it. And at times you do.
Yeah.
But I think this is sort of like Game of Thrones, where you can pay attention to all that stuff, but you really can just pay attention to what's right in front of you, the story in front of you, the characters in front of you. It doesn't really matter if you know the backstory. I just thought this is told so smartly and tightly and focused. For an open world game to do that is so difficult. It's so easy to just go wandering and go, I don't even care about the plot. And you do that here, but when you come back to the plot, you go, whoa, this is awesome. Like, what's gonna happen next?
I gotta pay this guy 1,000 gold? I got like 200 gold. I gotta like, oh, here comes the grind. But then you come across some
gotta get the gold. Gotta get the gold.
Gotta get the gold. Play a lot of Gwent.
It's got its own collectible card game. There's just so much in this video game. You can collect herbs, you can sail the seas.
You collect everything in this game. You collect a whole lot of stuff, and a lot of the times trying to figure out exactly what does what can be a huge pain in the ass.
Yeah, well, the inventory system is not the best. This is still a little wonky.
Ugly. If you're looking at it, you're like, oh my god, I have all of these things.
Yeah.
I can't really see which one is which. Apparently they do something. I'm gonna go to alchemy.
And loading some of the screens when you've collected a million things, when you switch over to like, now I want to look at my potions or whatever, there's just like a billion, or notes, there's just 1,000 notes. You save everything, you're a hoarder.
Yeah, it's like there's so many things. Like, I was just like going through the books, and I'm like, oh, I unlocked something. What did that do? I don't know. I got XP.
Yeah.
I unlocked something in the bestiary.
Go to the bestiary.
And then I was like, oh, I can use this
awesome
symbol.
Can we talk about the bestiary? I mean, this game's got a bestiary that not only just tells you what the enemies are, but it tells you what their weaknesses are. And the more you investigate the world, the more you'll find out other things.
Did you use it a lot? I used it a few times.
A couple times on the bosses, I'd be like, I've got to coat my sword in something because I'm getting my ass kicked by this giant whatever. And those giant whatevers, can we talk about those? There's so many things to talk about, Jose.
There are giant whatevers.
There are huge, awesome, crazy monsters that you fight. They are creepy looking. There's great diversity there. I just think this game kind of has everything you're looking for in an open world RPG. Now, you can compare it to games like Skyrim. There's things that Skyrim does, I think, a little bit better in terms of...
the weapon degradation isn't as severe.
Yeah,
like, I felt like my favorite weapon was broke like 3 fights into the game, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, I mean,
there's a person that I can fix this with.
No, you find them, and eventually you get little, repair kits, and the game does weirdly get easier the longer you play it, because you get more powerful and you get more stuff.
Which is great, because you want to continue playing, because when you die, it takes like 1.5 minutes to load.
Yeah. That's true. It definitely has some tech issues. I mean, there are problems. It's not a perfect video game. But I think in terms of a role-playing, an open-world role-playing game, this to me stands shoulder to shoulder, you got it, with Dragon Age, with Skyrim.
Sure.
I think it's right there with those games, despite having a much smaller developer. This is CD Projekt Red, who don't have that EA money and that Bethesda money. These guys have been doing this forever and having success forever. The other Witcher games are good. This game's great. For that reason, I'm going to give The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt a 9.5 out of 10.
I'm giving it a 9.
Nice work there, boys. Good to see you arguing in public again. And up next, it's the Twitter question du jour after these messages.
If you want more EP, go to our website, epn.tv, for bonus content and full episodes. We're also on Facebook and Twitter.
Welcome back to EP Daily. It is time now for the best part of every episode, and that's the Twitter question of the day. And today's question comes from our good friend, The Dirty. He, I'm guessing, is at dirty_Dylan. It's a he, for sure.
Okay.
Have you ever injured yourself playing a video game, Victor Lucas?
Sounds like a personal question. There's probably been a backstory to that question. Yeah. I've only had really a numb butt from sitting playing too many video games, and some I can't feel my legs moments. How about you?
What about the times when you just fall asleep with the controller in your lap?
There's no pain in that.
You just nod off
Maybe
there.
some neck strain.
Yeah,
how about yourself?
I used to drink beer when I'd play video games, and one time I got up to go get another beer. Maybe I'd had one too many beers.
Sounds like.
Tripped and fell and broke a toe. You can't do anything for a broken toe. You just kind of got to let it heal on its own.
Play more games.
Yeah, play more games.
All right, get caught up on all kinds of fun EP content at epn.tv.
More EP coming at you tomorrow, including a closer look at Clay Entertainment. You're not going to want to miss it. Thanks for watching, everybody.
We'll see you tomorrow.
EP would like to thank its sponsors, Nintendo, Xbox. EP's mobile coverage is brought to you by Gameloft, makers of Dungeon Hunter 5, which you can play for free on iOS and Android right now.
Clay's always worked in an environment where we're trying new things, and I think that eventually we came to realize that for players and for entertainment as a whole, if you're creating something new and something remarkable, people want to buy it. People want to talk about it, people want to buy it, people want to spread it. And so we focused our entire energy on creating those things.